Hello and welcome to another episode of Supercoach Insider. My name is Chris and welcome to the round 9 podcast and my team going into round 9. I suppose we get right into it, guys. I had a pretty good week, 2,226, which actually saw me raise a little bit in the ranks. I went up 237 spots overall to 868. So didn't follow through with the latter trade plans for last week. So last week, if you remember on the podcast or YouTube video, I should say, that I had two options presented. One was trade out Ashcroft and JVR for Clary, and one was trade out a bunch of different guys and get in Mills. Now, obviously, that didn't happen, so I didn't get Mills, which was obviously a savior. Bit of a bullet dodge there, but it does mean that I obviously didn't get Ashcroft's score. It does mean though that I held Jinby. So whilst I traded. I was going to trade one or the other. So I actually held Jinby, which has led to more cash gen. It led to more points, and he's got a favourable matchup this week against the Hawks. Hopefully he can grab another score and be worth somewhere between 350 to 360k at the end of next week or the week after. So I did get lucky out there a little bit. But yeah, we'll see how we go moving forward as to whether or not that is some profitable trades. I ended up saving my boost, so I didn't use the boost at all, and I just used the 2 trades, so down to 16 trades. And I suppose now we have issues. So I'll go through quickly the scoring and a little bit about what I saw. Dawson, 89, but got the ball a lot, just didn't use it very well. Apparently he was sick. I'm not sure how accurate that was. Don't quote me on it. But yeah, definitely sick of the ball apparently because he was disposing of it not to Dawson levels, unfortunately. Stewart powered out to a 79 in the first half, and I was gloating, classic me with the grade VC scores that he was the pick of the bunch. It turns out he kind of was anyway, but obviously only had 36-point second half. That's not great. In the third quarter, he only had, I think, 9 or 10 points. He dropped 2 contested intercept marks, which would have shot his score up. It wasn't a great quarter for him. And I feel like Richmond put a bit of work into him after half time because he was just killing them. So, definitely sucks. But, I did ride off with the Bont, who only managed a 112, but 3-point loss. Whatever. Zeeble again doing Zeeble things. Dacos doing Dacos things. Sinclair, this was a bit of an odd one. End of the first quarter, I think he was only on 7, but he had a negative DT to SC ratio, so just didn't use it well. One thing I don't like about Sinclair is his lack of tackling. It seems when he's playing midfield, he tends to run forward of the stoppage and tries to get on the other end of a link handball, and that means that he's not there to tackle the opposition when they do have the ball or they turn the ball over, which is really frustrating. He did still obviously drop behind the ball, have some kickouts, etc., and was influential during the day. Had a couple of goal assists, but 65, not good. Probably his worst score for the year, I'd say. Same story with Will Day, looking good to 3-quarter time and then sort of died in the arse, so unfortunate. Weddle I thought was fantastic. Bond was good in patches. He did come definitely good in the last. But that was obviously a fairly close game. They put some attention towards him. So I think Kennedy went head-to-head with him. I was hoping he would get the Cripps matchup. He did at times, but generally he was against Matt Kennedy, which was really frustrating. Wasn't exactly a tag, but he definitely paid a lot more attention to him than Cripps would have. Oliver on debut, 119. Pretty much what I thought he would score. I thought he was going to go somewhere between 120 to 130. And I was bang on the money there. Green's scoring has been weird all year, but I suppose he's still pumping out basically 111 average. So, what did I tip to him start of the year? 114? Not bad at all. Merritt, I don't even want to talk about him. Listen to the other pod. I'm just kind of raging, kind of not. We'll see how it pans out. Everyone's jumping on now, so we'll see how we go. LDU, at least he got it 122 before he got injured. If he got injured on 60, I would have been absolutely furious, but he looks to be an absolute dead set trade. Hamstring injuries are generally 3 to 4 anyway, so Yeah, that's just is what it is. Hopper, he's out for 6, so he's got to go as well. So unfortunately, that's just killed him for. I was hoping to carry him through the buys. That's not happening. I looped Jinby, so obviously had him on and that 108. So that's where Johnson is on field. I played Sincotta over Wilmot, so that was a mistake, I guess. But it is what it is. I mean, I think based on form, that was the good thing to do. Sincotta wasn't anywhere near it. So that's a hindsight thing. Yeah, that's a 42-point play. Gawn scored over. All I care is if Gawn matches or scores over English. So you're plus 6 points again this week. With a favourable ruck matchup coming up this week, looks like Gawn was the right choice for the trading targets. I would have been furious if I traded in English and the last 2 weeks Gawn had outscored him and he dropped 50k. So that's good. Marshall was probably Marshall went from being the almost not playing to being the captain option of the week. How? Classic Taranto things with a 90, even though he had lots of disposals, just poorly used it. Dunkley has been like this all season, up and down a little bit. Goulden, wow. Well, didn't see 2 things. First of all, Mills going down. Did that impact his CBAs because he went up to a 52% again? Do we now see him as that 50% CBA midfielder for the next however many weeks? Does that ignite a surge? They play North this week at Marvel. What's that look like? Could be another huge week for Goulden. If you don't have him, one you should definitely get. Same old for Rosie. Probably Butters was the better selection. However, we've already seen Butters cop a knock here and there. How long for is the question. Sheasel, so just monitor Sheasel. Worst case, he's a buy flip in round 15. Best case, he becomes a premium for the whole year, but keep an eye on him. And then Chandler with that 42. He hit his break even, so he hasn't dropped cash. But yeah, he's now an absolute must trade out, obviously, because he is going to go down moving forward. Mitchell was great. Actually, I think he actually had a really negative DT to SC ratio, unfortunately. So this could have been a 100 score, but it wasn't. So someone I want to look to try and either loop or try and get on field moving forward, as he's had some pretty good scores. He's averaging 63, which is about what Sincotta's averaging. So all these guys averaging around about the same in terms of on-field scoring. Yeah, I want to try and get him on. So, just based on that, I've got some moves. Now, the trades are pretty easy. So, obviously, LDU has to go. Hopper has to go. And Chandler has to go. So, those are 3 guys that just have to be traded regardless, unfortunately. So, that gives us that. Now, I do luckily have 1 boost to go. So, for me, I'm in a good position to be able to do this, but that means that it's the last boost. It means I can't use it during the buys. I can't use it again during the season. But it has come in handy in this specific week. Because if I was only able to do, one or the other, then I have to hold one for a week and I'm down a premium. So that would suck. Now, while I'm doing this, I want to try and arrange this a little bit better. So what I want to do, I want to get one of these defender mids into midfield. I want to get Mitchell back into defense. I'm going to trade... Oh, how am I going to do this? No, I think that's right. I think that's how I want to do it. Or maybe Matty Roberts here. Maybe Constable into here. Is that right? Nah, oh, no, maybe it is. Yep, and then Sincotta back. There is a method to this madness. Now, who do I trade in? So I've gone through extensively on the other pod, but there is already having Zach, already having Clayton, already having Dawson, already having the obvious trade-in targets. I'm kind of restricted. Now, I do have a lot of money. So let's start the rookies and work our way forward. Now, unfortunately for us, we are in a position where we have cash. I have decided that the likely scenario for me is getting Humphrey this week. And I'm probably going to get him as a forward. Though obviously I can flick him around. The reason for this is that I want to probably play him on field. And I feel like, I wish I could loop him. That would be an ideal situation. But the loops I have don't allow me to do that this week. just because Sydney play the second, I think it's the second game this week. Gold Coast play, I think, the third game, I want to say. Let's have a look. Gold Coast. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, okay. If I go like that, and then I can't see it. I do think. Let me just bring it up on my phone. I can just do it that way. This will work. Here we go. Round 10. Okay, so Sydney play the second game, so can't use Matty Roberts as a loop. Gold Coast play Saturday night. So that technically means... Oh, so here's the thing. So can't loop Wilmot, because obviously Suns play Lions. West Coast play the Hawks. So and they play after that game, which is annoying. So if I wanted to try and loop, say, Jinby and Sincotta, I can't do that because they both play after the Suns play. So those three defenders can't loop with Constable, can't loop with Roberts, can't loop Wilmot. Yeah, so I mean, I could loop. The only one I could potentially loop is potentially Johnson. So if Johnson is named, I can loop him against the Cats, but probably not going to be. It's probably not going to be a score that I'm looking to take anyway, to be completely honest. So unfortunately, it kind of looks like I'm going to have to just wing it and play these guys on field and hope that I get it right, which is really, really annoying. But it is what it is. So that's the thing. Now, what else do I want to do? So I probably want to... So I've decided that I want to try and bring in Darcy Cameron this week, mainly for two reasons. First of all, I've only got 1,090,000, so about 1,100. Darcy, at his price, allows me to bring in, say, another like a fully fledged premium. So I get 600k essentially to bring someone in. Now I've had to think about a few, but I do need to either bring someone in from the round 15 buy or round 12 or 13 buy, which kind of leaves me in a predicament. Neil's not ready to be able to do that, which would be ideal, but he's got another week until we wanted to bring in someone like Neil at least. Walsh I don't have the money for. Libba I don't have the money for. He's 625. Obviously can't get Petraka. Sarong I'm 10k short of. Anderson I'm short of. Kelly's the one I'm probably going to get because he's the next best available under 600k. Laird, again, he's got a high break even, so you won't be bringing him in. Parrish is obviously injured. Neil, as I said, also another high break even, so you don't need to bring him in. Cherry's had a role change, and I'm also 2k short. Butters, but then I've got too many forwards. DeGoey's one at 501k, but not confident in him. He's just come off back-to-back bad games. Rowell is one. How long's Tucat for? Don't have that information. Yeah, so all of these guys, I'm just like, none of them I like. Unless I'm bringing in, say, an extra defender, in which case I would bring in, say, Sicily, and then run a defender mid in the midfield, and then potentially buy flip them later. But I think ultimately the better option is just grabbing Josh Kelly and just seeing what happens. The only other thing that I could do is if, say, I wanted to get a Libba or a Sarong or a Walsh potentially, if I wanted to go that direction, I would not get Humphrey and I would get, say, a Sharp and then use that extra money to get the better primo. But I think that Humphrey's the right play. So at the moment, that's how I want to line up. Now let me just see and make sure that I've got my guys in the right spots. And I do believe I do. Yep, I do. Yep. So, all right, let's have a look. So now that I've done this, we'll have a look at how it lines up. So this is going to be interesting. So who do I play on field? Mitchell versus Sincotta. Oh, rookie roulette there is going to hurt me. I'm probably going to go Mitchell this week against West Coast and hope for the best. I think that's the better matchup. And then Carlton plays Collingwood. So yeah, you would suggest based on the fixtures that the one to get on field is Mitchell. Jinby obviously needs to be on field based on his recent performance. But I will obviously have the E on Johnson if he's played. If not, I've got Wilmot here. And Wilmot's been serviceable, especially with Rich out. So he's got one more week in my team at least, maybe two, depending on his score this week. And that'll be interesting to do. One thing I could do is I could, oh no, I can't. You can't have Cameron playing off the pine. That's not well. Davey probably plays. Hopefully not the sub. It's dream time around. So, excuse me. You would assume that Davey plays in the full team. Sorry, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. So I don't think that I can loop him anyway. No, I can't. So he'll just be a backup score, unfortunately. I mean, of course, I can put Goulden in here for Humphrey, but then I've got to play Wilmot on field. So do I play Wilmot or Humphrey on field? That's something that I'll make up as we go. Oh, wow. I've really got the hiccups. I do apologize. I can't pause the recording for any reason. Anyway, almost there. So we'll finish this up. I've already said my VCNC on the main pod, but I will be going with Gawn, who has a good history against Port Adelaide, and who are running Teakle as their primary ruck and Leak ruck points, the most ruck points of any team in the league. I do apologise again. Sorry, guys. This is probably really annoying. So last season he had a 50-point game, so I'm assuming something happened there. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe injured or something like that. But 160 they're in the same year, earlier in the year. So I'm backing that as I think he goes like 140. VC there. Captain Bont is the backup. I also think Dawson's a good shout. Those are the two options that I will go as the C. Now, what that leaves me with, moving forward again, looking forward to the next week or two. Excuse me. Looking at obviously upgrading, say, a Jimby and Wilmot into a premium spot. And I've got 3 more. I'm hoping to get maybe a Lockie Neal type next week or something similar. To do that, these guys will have to make considerable cash because I'm not going to be able to do it just on that. So it could mean I just do a downgrade next week. It could mean if there's a value option that presents, I take that option. But I'm not sure there is anymore. So we'll have to see what happens. But these guys are basically one down, one up to around about a 500k rookie. So, or they will be next week, or to a 123k rookie. So could get, say, someone like a Drury or something next week and then get a 500k premium, or wait another week. So we'll see how we go with that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here because these hiccups are killing me. I do apologize. But thank you very much, guys, for the continued support. And if you've stayed this long, just throw hiccups in the chat. All right. Cheers, guys.